And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I've been busy this afternoon. Thank you for asking. Let's talk about the market in NBA 2K22, my team. My hair is going crazy right now. It looks like I'm either about to yell for the manager or I'm going to go drink vodka Red Bulls in the club on the shore. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Either way, look, the market is kind of interesting right now, I guess. So let's talk about some things. This early on in the game's lifestyle, I don't really think that it's worth buying any cards, period. Just because, like I've said in multiple prior videos, like you're going to be cycling through cards so fast for the first probably like 4 or 5 weeks of the game that it's really just best to use cards that you get. And if you get them organically, cool, you're using them. If not, whatever. The reason I say that this year too is because jump shot timing is so important that it's like if you're constantly cycling out your cards every 5 minutes, like you're not going to be shooting. So even if you have the best cards in the game, like it's not really going to work out for you. You can tell I'm super stressed about the trip I'm going on because I've been flubbing my words quite often today in like the last 3 videos I've done. But let's take a look at the cards. We got this guy, Andre Iguodala, who I'll never get, so it doesn't really matter. If you are lucky enough to get him, I mean, he's going to save you some heartache for sure because you don't really need to go spend a bunch of MT on like a small forward or a shooting guard or something. Same thing with Donovan Mitchell, for like point guard perspective. And Lamar Odom's still really good, but these cards don't exist to me, so it doesn't really matter at all. Now look, at this stage, it's not worth locking in Chris Mullin and Kevin Love. Kevin Love's still pretty good, actually. Kevin Love, especially if you're someone who operates with a lot of threes, he's still very good, but Rondo is still pretty expensive, so I'm not sure if he's really worth locking in. You can get Rondo for around 15, 20K. I don't think it's too bad, though. I mean, most of these cards are a little bit cheaper just due to the fact that we've been getting, like, actual promos the last few days, And I feel like that definitely helps a little bit. Shout out to my boy Kelly Tripucka. This is Mark Jackson. I don't have Mark Jackson yet. All right, bet. So he's still worth it. The Limitless guys have actually gone up in price quite a bit. I just want to know. All right, I just want to know where people are getting all this MT because I'm curious, okay? Because the game's been out for 7 days. How do you have almost 400,000 to spend on a card? This is going to end up at like 500,000. How are people getting 500,000 MT? You could jump in this comment section and you could say, "Oh man, they're sniping." Okay, whatever, dude. I'm not buying it. All right, I'm not buying it this early. It's not happening, dude. Either way, I think one of the more slept on cards in the game is Dominique. His price is way up, so maybe people are starting to catch on to that, or people are just like, obviously not pulling him because he's not in packs, but he's still, I think, like a top tier shooting guard outside of like the trophy case players. Honestly, Dominique is really slept on. He is really expensive. Should you be spending 90 something thousand on a card at this point? No, but something to think about. Most sweat lords are going to go for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is actually more expensive than him, but I actually think that Dominique is slightly better. And I don't know why I think that. Probably because he dunks on me so hard. Diamond Steph is over 100K, which is wild. He was like 70K the other day. He's really good, for sure. Steph can still carry your lineup. Even Amethyst Steph, he can still carry your lineup, for sure. I use these two guys in draft. I don't personally see a huge difference. People will tell you that there's a massive difference between the Amethyst and the Diamond. Yeah, there's a couple Hoff badge difference for sure. Rudy Gobert's still really good too. I think you can kind of mimic his production with guys that are a little bit cheaper though, so that's something that I would say. And the Shades of pack, Blake Griffin's back up in price. I mean, if you want him, I guess, but it's not worth picking up Blake Griffin at this point. And the reason I say that is because Paolo is significantly cheaper, and he pretty much brings you like 75% of what Blake's going to give you. And honestly, the people who are buying the best cards in this game right now are not people who really need the best cards in this game right now. You know what I mean? If you have 400K to spend, you're probably pretty good at the game, or at least, you take it pretty serious. So I don't really think you need Blake Griffin. I think you can operate with Paolo just fine, but that's me. You know what I mean? Maybe that's like a different thing. I don't know. Karolinko is still good. People will tell you his jump shot's trash, but it's really easy to time, actually. 50K is a little pricey for him, though. I just don't think it's worth spending really any MT on cards at this point, but I always recommend just buying budget guys at this point. Andre Drummond, super underrated. super underrated. Great defensively. He's got a 65 ball handle, which isn't horrible. You can definitely get it done. He's got decent speed. He moves really well. Huge. He grabs rebounds. He dunks over people. He can just post up super easily. Like, the speed isn't ideal. It's not. 69 sounds really slow and funny, but at the same time, like, he's going to outmove a lot of centers, and he can bang in the post, dude. He really can. It's my boy right there. A lot of people like Jalen Duren. I don't know. Not a huge fan. Even though he's like an amethyst, I'm just not really big on the card. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I hate Jeremy Sochan with a burning passion. Cannot get steals with this dude to save my life. Oh my god, so frustrating. Let's look at the intensity cards from today. Amethyst Zion. Look, I said it before and I'll say it again. People were like, bro, what are you talking about? Why do you hate that the lowest tier is an amethyst, right? The reason I hate it is because I knew this was going to happen, right? The cheapest amethyst you can buy are like 7-8K, which is so whack, dude. Before, in previous years, we could go ahead and buy, like, were they the greatest starter cards? No. But could you buy, like, new additions to your team for, like, a few thousand MT that were actually viable and usable in the game? Yes. Yes, you could. Now you can't. You can't buy any of the promo guys from under 9,000 MT, which I think is crazy. Zion's okay. If you want him, go for it. Marcus Smart's like damn near 30,000 MT at this point. He's probably down a little bit now. Like, I'm sure he's probably around 20, but still, like, he plays way better as a shooting guard. I don't think he's very good at a point guard position. I mean, that's just me, though. As a shooting guard, very solid, very usable. I just don't think he's really worth the price. Honestly, I don't. His jump shot's kind of decent. He's got an 86 ball handle, but he just feels kind of sluggish. That's just me, though. But if you're somebody who likes to use your shooting guard as your ball handler or something of that nature, like, Marcus Smart's good. Tyson Chandler's fun, too. I will say he is a tad bit underrated, especially because we need paint defense right now. 90% of the people you play are just going to go mash and try to get inside and rim run every single possession anyway. So having someone like Tyson Chandler is, yes, going to hurt your offense for sure. But he's so good defensively and he blocks a lot of shots that I actually think he's very useful. Like, you could run him on your bench unit and he could definitely help you out in like unlimited. And he's like the cheapest amethyst too, which is still like 8,000 MT, right? I think Drummond's a little bit better because he brings you a little bit more offensively, but you could definitely run Tyson Chandler. He can really hold it down for you. Oladipo, the fact that he's this expensive is crazy to me, but he's probably one of the better shooting guards in the entire game right now. Like, he is, man. He's basically an improved version of Marcus Smart. Like, that's what he is. He plays defense at a very comparable level. He dunks. He has a way better jumper. Oladipo is nasty. You can tell how bad these packs are, too. The fact that Oladipo is 140,000 MT should tell you everything you need to know about these pack odds, dude. Just don't open them, you know? Diamond Zion's all right. I don't think he's worth picking up. I think Paolo's way better, and he's like a fraction of the price. So, that I'll say. Ben Wallace is good. He is. He's obviously not going to shoot. He's not going to handle the rock, but he's fast. That's the key. So you can do a lot of backdoor cuts with Ben Wallace, and he'll straight boom on people. And yes, do not let the fact that he is 6'9" fool you. This man will out-rebound anybody, dude. It's insane. Like, his rebounding statistics, really solid. Like, really solid. Trust me, I've been playing this dude in draft all day. And it has been absolutely infuriating. Who is his dynamic duo? Because it doesn't show up on the database. I wonder who it is. It's probably Chauncey Billups, I would guess, right? That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't show up on the database who his duo is, but depending what his duo's looking like he might be even better to run. Vince Carter. This is so expensive. Like, this 400K for Vince Carter. I don't even think he's the best shooting guard in the game, personally. I don't. I think there's trophy case guys that are better than him for sure, which is like, makes me kind of confused as to why he's as expensive as he is. I mean, like, is he good? Yes. Should you be spending all this MT on him? Absolutely not. First off, I'll say it again. Who has 500K MT just lying around at this point? Like, how? How do you do this? I mean, not opening packs is probably the way you do it. Like, so I guess I did have 210 this morning. Now I have 56. So, yeah, it's probably just don't open packs. The key to no money spent in this game is to not open packs ever under any circumstance. Then we got Zion. Zion's good. I think Blake Griffin is comparable. I mean, Zion is good for sure. He booms on people. He is a little bit on the small side for sure. But he's actually pretty good in the post. It doesn't really matter if he's smaller. Honestly, I played against him a couple times in draft, and he was really, really good. So, once again, though, is he worth all the MT? No, absolutely not, dude. He's not worth all the MT. Like, he's not. It's not worth it. Now, badges are going to get kind of pricey. They're going to get kind of out of reach pretty soon, which is why I always recommend stashing your badges. The reason being, like, Limitless has gone up double in price, and I think that will continue. Granted, I don't believe any of the high tier cards can get Limitless. Like, yeah, I don't think Vince Carter can, which is even more puzzling why he's 400k. Can't even get Limitless. Neither can Oladipo. Like, Zion might, but why would you put it on him? No, he can't. None of the cards that came out today can get Limitless, so I'm not sure why Limitless is up in price. Can Iguodala get it, maybe? I mean, that's why. There's usually like a player that coincides with a price jump in badges, but it doesn't seem to be here at this moment. Either way, I would say when it comes to things like Limitless, guard up you can kind of get rid of whenever. The reason being is it's probably always going to be around this price, and a lot of cards aren't going to have it. But things like Catch and Shoot and Limitless, you need to save for when specific cards come out. We're at the stage now when a lot of people are going to pick up cards and they're going to gold badge up cards. Like, they are. Because HOF badges are actually kind of difficult to get a hold of. And people don't want to waste HOF badges at this point. So a lot of people are just going to kind of go in there. I was going to say raw, but it's not really raw if you put a gold badge on cards. So a lot of people are just going to go gold badge only. You know what I mean? So kind of just watch what cards are coming out, what badges they can have equipped and what they don't have. Badges to look at would be Hyperdrive is always a good one, Ankle Breaker, obviously the shooting badges I touched on. Corner Specialist is one I would look at too, because a lot of big men aren't going to have Corner Specialist, and that's like the first thing I put on cards, so I have to assume that other people do the same. Pro Touch might actually have some value this year because timed layups are actually a lot better than they have been, so maybe just kind of watch out for that, you know, for sure, especially when it comes to mashing situations. If you get the right person that's like a Pro Touch demon, whew, they might go hard. Masher too. I mean, most big men are going to have Masher, but just wait until we get a big point guard. Doesn't even matter if the big point guard is good, because once we get a big point guard, it's over. Everyone's going to try to throw Masher on them, and everyone's going to sit there and do 67 pump fakes under the hoop and try to get in. Dude, it's going to be so stupid. I hate it. As always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. Look, if you have any of the high tier cards right now, sell them. Sell them immediately. It doesn't matter what your aspirations are in this game. You should sell them, because even if you're on qualifier mode, like, the first qualifier is going to come around and you're not going to be using any of these cards anyway. So I would go ahead and sell them. You can find cheaper replacements that I think will be good. Like, for AK, you could replace AK with Scotty Barnes and you'll have basically the same, you know, kind of level of production, right? You can go ahead and replace Blake Griffin with Paolo, and you won't really miss all that much, you know, in my opinion anyway. Same with Zion. You know, that's just kind of how I feel. Really not a replacement per se for Vince Carter, because the only other shooting guard, you know, auction-wise that I would say pick up is Oladipo, who's about, like, not really that much of a price difference. But it looks like we are getting another shooting guard in Jaden Ivey on Tuesday, so he might be really good. It's another ridiculously long Evo, so whatever. But hey, have a good weekend, you guys.